Maybe what is stealing your peace is not your job or the people around you. Maybe it is your own home. Do you come home exhausted and instead of resting, you feel the weight of everything you need to organize? How many times have you thought, I just want 1 minute of peace inside my own house? The mirror of the mind. Your home is the mirror of your mind. This is not a metaphor. It is neuroscientific reality. When your home is in chaos, your mind is in chaos. When your home is organized and intentional, your mind follows the same path. Mental clutter reflects physically in the house, and vice versa. It is a cycle that feeds itself. I myself have lived this trap. When I was younger, I accumulated things thinking they defined me. Every purchase was a promise to become someone better, more sophisticated, more complete. But the truth is, I was just filling the void with objects that created even more emptiness. There were days when I would look at my home and feel deep anguish without understanding where it came from. Now I know. It came from the dissonance between who I was and what my space represented. The house was full of versions of me that never truly existed. It was when I started getting rid of the excess that I noticed something surprising. I was not losing anything. I was gaining space, time, mental clarity, and finally, peace, the invisible weight of excess. If you walk into your living room right now and feel a tightness in your chest, that is not a coincidence. Research published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology showed that disorganized environments increase the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, negatively affecting our mental health. But here is the part nobody tells you. It is not about the visual clutter. It is about what the clutter represents. Every accumulated object is a postponed decision, a silent guilt, a reminder of who you wanted to be but did not become. You look at that pile of magazines you never read and feel the weight of the unfulfilled promise. You open the closet overflowing with clothes and feel the anguish of none of them being the person you wanted to be. You walk past the shelf full of decorative objects and feel the exhaustion just thinking about cleaning them. Let us be direct. You have a closet full of clothes but nothing to wear. You have stuffed drawers but cannot find what you need. You have a full house but feel empty. And you still blame yourself for not being able to keep everything organized. But you know what? The problem is not you. It is the system that sold you the idea that more is better, that accumulating is synonymous with success, that discarding is wasting. A clear horizon. Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense who made us afraid to take a shower, was asked in an interview about his definition of happiness. Do you know what he said? He did not talk about awards, success, or fame. He simply said, a clear horizon. Nothing to worry about on your plate, only creative things, not destructive ones. Hitchcock revealed that he was extremely sensitive and that a harsh word from someone close hurt him for days. He knew his negative emotions, but said that when all of them were removed and you could look forward with a clear path, ready to create something, that was the happiness he desired. A clear horizon. Think about that. Now think about your home. Does it offer you a clear horizon? Or is it a sea of accumulated things that block your vision, your peace, and your ability to breathe? Before continuing, subscribe to the Minimalist Home channel and activate the notification bell. It is not just to help me. It is because you are about to discover information that will put you in an advantageous position compared to most people who live suffocated by excess without even realizing it. When you subscribe, you are building this clear horizon with me. Leave a like too. That way, other women like you will have access to this content and can recover the peace that consumerism stole from them. The science of overload. Recent studies demonstrate that living in an organized space leads to improvement in concentration, sleep quality, and reduction in anxiety levels. This happens because the excess of visual stimuli forces our brain to process more information than necessary, resulting in mental fatigue. It is like trying to listen to soft music while 20 radios play at the same time. You cannot relax. You cannot think. You can only survive the noise. A follower told me she had constant migraines. Nothing solved it. Medications, doctors, exams, everything normal. Until the day she moved to a smaller apartment and needed to get rid of half her things. In the first 2 weeks in the new house, the migraines disappeared. It was not a miracle. It was her brain finally getting to rest. But here is the detail that few mention. Minimalism is more than just a design trend. It is a philosophy based on conscious living and simplicity, where people prioritize experiences over things, seeking fulfillment through meaningful connections instead of material accumulation. The time trap. Have you ever calculated how much time you spend taking care of your things? Cleaning, organizing, storing, searching, maintaining. We spend money buying, we spend time organizing, and in the rare moments of free time to enjoy the house, it still does not look like the place where we would like to live. It is a vicious cycle where you work to buy things that make you work more. Psychologist Mark Travers, graduated from Cornell University, explains that minimalism offers a path to greater autonomy, competence, and mental clarity. When you simplify your environment, you create a greater sense of control and order. With fewer distractions and clutter, you feel less stressed and anxious, being able to manage your life better. Another follower wrote to me, "After minimizing my kitchen, I gained 45 minutes per day. 45 minutes that I spent looking for things, cleaning things, organizing things. Now I use that time to have coffee calmly in the morning. 45 minutes per day is more than 270 hours per year, more than 11 whole days." She recovered 11 days of her life just by simplifying the kitchen. The bedroom as a sanctuary. Your bedroom should be the most peaceful place in the house. It is where you start and end each day. But for most women, it is just another disguised storage room. Clothes piled on the chair that is never empty. Beauty products scattered on the dresser. Drawers impossible to close. Closets that threaten to collapse when you open them. Research shows that living in an organized space can lead to improved sleep quality. It is not superstition. It is neuroscience. When you sleep in a chaotic environment, your subconscious processes that chaos. You do not rest completely. You wake up tired even after 8 hours of sleep because your mind never completely shut off. Transform your bedroom into a sanctuary. And no, that does not mean spending money on a decorator. It means eliminating everything that does not belong in a resting space. Television in the bedroom? Question whether it really helps you sleep better or keeps you awake until late. Piles of books you should read? Choose one. Donate the rest to a library. Clothes that make you sigh in frustration? Life is too short to wear clothes that make you feel bad. The closet that tells your truth. I will tell you something personal and vulnerable. When I did my first big closet purge, I got rid of 60% of my clothes. Do you know how many pieces I miss? 0. Because I finally admitted something I had known for years. I was not the person who would wear that extravagant party dress I bought imagining a social life I never had. I was not the person of that overly formal suit I bought thinking I needed to look more serious. I was not the person of those beautiful but uncomfortable shoes that left me limping after 2 hours. My closet was a museum of versions of me that never existed, and every time I opened it, I was confronted with these silent lies. No wonder I hated choosing clothes. My closet now has 45 pieces. Does it sound like too little? I put together more interesting combinations now than when I had 150 pieces, because each one was chosen to work together with the others. I no longer have that feeling of a full closet, but nothing to wear because everything I own, I really use and like. And here is the unexpected benefit. I get dressed faster in the morning, I wash less laundry, I spend less at the dry cleaners, and each piece I have is better quality because I can invest more in less. It is simple math that nobody teaches you. Better to have 6 perfect blouses than 20 mediocre ones. The living room, the first step. Let us be practical now. Your living room is the calling card of your home and your mind. It is where you receive visitors, where the family gathers, where theoretically you should relax. But how many times do you really relax in your living room? Or do you just pass through it running, dodging the accumulated clutter? The first step is brutal but necessary. Remove everything. Yes, everything. Empty the shelves, remove the decorative objects, take the pictures off the walls, leave the space bare. It will seem strange. It might even hurt a little. But you need to see the real space you have, not the space suffocated by things. Now breathe. Sit in the middle of the empty room. How do you feel? Probably relieved. Maybe a little anxious because you are not used to seeing so much space. But also, for the first time in a long time, able to breathe deeply. Return only what is essential. The sofa where you really sit. The coffee table you actually use. The rug if it genuinely pleases you. And here is the decisive test for decorative objects. If you had to clean that object every week personally, would you keep it? If the answer is no, it does not deserve to be in your home. The kitchen, where the battle is won. The kitchen is the heart of the home, but for many women it is also the source of greatest stress. Drawers stuffed with utensils they never use, cabinets full of containers without lids and lids without containers, appliances that were used once and now collect dust. Here's a statistic that will shock you. The average family has between 20 and 35 kitchen utensils, but regularly uses only 5 or 6. The rest is there, taking up space, creating clutter, making you waste time looking for what you need. Have you ever stood in front of an open drawer, looking at a sea of utensils, trying to find the can opener that should be there but is not, and felt that anger rising? It is not anger at the can opener. It is anger at yourself for allowing it to get to this point. The solution? Be ruthless. You need 3 good knives, not 20. You need a good set of pans, not an entire collection. You need enough plates for your family plus 2 or 3 extras. not services for 12 people that you use once a year. A follower told me, my kitchen had 22 plastic containers. I used 3. The other 19 just created a game of Tetris every time I opened the cabinet. I donated 18. Now I open the cabinet and grab what I need in 2 seconds. It seems silly, but these small victories changed my entire day. The bathroom and the promise industry. The bathroom is where the beauty industry grabs you by the neck and does not let go. That cream that promised miracles but dried out your skin. That shampoo you saw in an ad but makes your hair heavy. That makeup you bought because it was trendy but does not match your skin tone. How many products do you have in the bathroom? You can count now mentally. 20, 30, 50? Now tell me, how many do you use regularly? Probably less than 15. Most women have between 40 and 60 beauty and personal care products, but consistently use less than 15. The rest is there expiring, leaking, creating visual clutter every time you open the cabinet, making you feel guilty for having spent money on things you do not use. Here's a rule I use that changed everything. 1 product for each function. 1 shampoo that really works for my hair. 1 conditioner. 1 facial moisturizer. 1 body moisturizer. 3 lipsticks that I actually use. Does it sound radical? It is liberating, because when you open your bathroom cabinet and see only what you really use, you feel in control. No more that feeling of being judged by 15 anti-aging creams promising eternal youth that you bought in moments of insecurity. Before decluttering, the breathing ritual. Here is something that few teach. Before starting to organize physically, you need to organize emotionally. Sit in a room of your house. Just sit. Breathe deeply 3 times. Look around without judgment. Do not think about what needs to be done. Just observe how you feel. Heavy? Anxious? Overwhelmed? Tired just from looking? Now close your eyes and visualize how you want to feel in that space. Light? Serene? Inspired? At peace? This simple exercise creates the emotional map of your transformation, because in the end, you are not decluttering to have fewer things. You are decluttering to have more life. The luxury of being yourself. Here is an inconvenient truth about comparison and status. Whoever needs to show that they have, has already lost. True luxury is not in the quantity of things you own, but in the quality of the space you inhabit and the freedom to be exactly who you are. A minimalist home is not poor. It is selective. It is not empty. It is intentional. It is not cold. It is serene. Think about the women you truly admire. Not those who post photos of endless closets on Instagram, but those who seem to have everything under control, who breathe natural elegance, who never seem rushed or overwhelmed. Do you know their secret? Less. Fewer unnecessary commitments, fewer objects without meaning, less visual and mental noise, less need to prove something to someone. Studies indicate that people who adopt minimalism by their own choice report greater subjective well-being and lower levels of anxiety. This happens because minimalism allows you to free yourself from the constraints of consumer society and live according to your own ideals. I used to think I needed more things to feel complete. Today, the less I have, the more whole I feel. When you give up superfluous goods, you regain control of your life and develop a stronger feeling of authenticity. You stop living for the expectations of others and start living for your own conscious choices. The difference between pleasure and happiness. Let us be honest. Society taught us that happiness is hedonic, that is, the immediate satisfaction of desires. We buy something new. We feel that wave of dopamine, that instant pleasure. But it soon passes, and we buy again and again. It is an endless cycle where we confuse temporary pleasure with true fulfillment. The ancient Greeks had another word for happiness, eudaimonia. It was not about immediate pleasure, but about human flourishing, about living according to your deepest virtues, even when it does not bring instant joy. It is the kind of satisfaction that comes from creating a home that reflects who you really are, not who magazines say you should be. It is the deep peace that comes from being in harmony with your choices, not at constant war with your possessions, the weight you do not see. Here is something you need to know. Clutter can bring a feeling of chaos and imbalance, affecting our emotional well-being. Every object in your home carries an invisible weight. It is not just the physical space it occupies, but the mental space. You may not consciously notice, but your brain is constantly processing everything around you. Every object is information that needs to be categorized, evaluated, remembered. This drains your mental energy without you even realizing it. I will give you an example. A friend of mine lived in an apartment full of decorative objects. Every surface had something on top. Figurines, candles, picture frames, little boxes. She thought everything was beautiful, but lived exhausted. She complained of constant headaches, difficulty concentrating, a feeling of always being late. When she finally got rid of 80% of those objects, something changed. It was not magic. It was science. Her brain stopped processing unnecessary visual information and could finally rest. She called me crying a week later. For the first time in years, I was able to read an entire book without getting distracted. I was able to sit on the sofa and just be there, without feeling like I should be doing something else. The organization of a minimalist environment helps create a sense of peace and order, which facilitates concentration and reduces anxiety. Furthermore, by owning fewer things, we reduce the number of decisions we need to make daily. The invisible fatigue. This is crucial because decision fatigue is real. When we are forced to make many small decisions throughout the day, our ability to make good choices decreases. Do you know why successful executives wear the same style of clothing every day? It is not for lack of creativity. It is strategy. It is preservation of mental energy for decisions that really matter. Minimalism reduces this mental load automatically. Fewer things, fewer decisions, more energy, better quality of life. The dictatorship of maybe I will need it. The most dangerous phrase for those who want to live with less is maybe I will need it one day. This phrase has kept you hostage for years. This phrase justifies keeping boxes of cables we do not know what they are for, clothes in sizes we have not worn for 5 years, kitchen items for occasions that never happen, books you will never read, gifts you did not like. I will be direct. If you have not used something in the last 12 months, and it is not a seasonal or emergency item, you do not need it. And before you start listing exceptions, think honestly. How many times did you really need that object you kept just in case? Almost never. And on the rare occasions you needed it, you probably could borrow, rent, or improvise. The cost of keeping things just in case is high. Not just the physical space they occupy, but the mental space. Every object is a decision you postpone making, and that pile of postponed decisions turns into chronic anxiety that you do not even realize you are carrying until you get rid of it. The detachment ritual. Here is something that transforms the act of discarding from a boring task into a liberation ritual. Take the object you are going to discard, hold it for a moment, look at it, and say out loud or mentally, "Thank you for having served me until now. Now I can let you go." Does it sound silly? Try it. It is surprising how this simple acknowledgement disarms emotional resistance. You are not rejecting the object. You are honoring what it represented and consciously choosing to move forward without it. A follower wrote to me about this. I had a set of dishes I received as a wedding gift. My marriage ended 8 years ago. Every time I used the dishes, I felt a weight, but I could not discard them because they were expensive and they were a gift. When I finally did the ritual and thanked the dishes for what they represented, I was able to donate them without pain. And I bought a new set that I chose alone, that represents who I am now. This is the power of honoring the past, while consciously choosing the present. The sentimental illusion. Gifts you did not like but feel guilty discarding. Family heirlooms that do not match your style but carry emotional weight. Travel souvenirs that do not bring joy, they just take up space. Sentimental value is the most powerful excuse for keeping excess. But do you want to know the truth? Sentimental value is not in the object. It is in the memory. You do not need the childhood stuffed animal to remember your childhood. You do not need grandma's china set to honor her memory. The people we love do not want us to live as prisoners of their belonging. A strategy I use. I photograph objects with sentimental charge before discarding them. The photo preserves the memory but frees the space. And surprisingly, I barely look at those photos afterward, because I realize that what matters is not the object, it is the story. And the story is in me, not in things. Your grandmother is not in that china set. She is in the recipes you cook, the stories you tell, the way you treat people. That is what honors her memory. The digital also suffocates. We forget that minimalism also applies to the digital world. 1,000 contacts on your phone that you do not know who they are. 5,000 unorganized photos. 40 apps you do not use. 15 open tabs in the browser. 100 unread emails. All of this is digital excess that weighs as much as the physical. Digital minimalism, which involves reducing time spent on social media and setting clear limits for technology use, has a direct impact on reducing anxiety and depressive symptoms. When you clean your digital environment, you create mental space. Your brain does not need to process constant notifications. It does not get distracted with every ping. It does not compare itself with the edited lives of others 20 times a day. Try this. Turn off all notifications except the essential ones. Keep only the apps you really use. Organize your photos or delete the bad ones. You will feel an immediate mental lightness, as if you had taken a weight off your shoulders that you did not even know you were carrying. the true cost of everything. Every object you own has a true cost that goes far beyond the price you paid. It has the cost of the space it occupies, the cost of cleaning and maintenance time, the mental cost of having it in your peripheral vision constantly, the cost of the energy you spend deciding what to do with it. When you understand this, your relationship with consumption changes completely. Before buying anything, you ask, is it worth paying all these hidden costs? Usually the answer is no, and you save not only money, but space, time, and peace of mind. I used to be that person who took advantage of every sale, who could not resist a 50% discount. I bought because it was cheap, not because I needed it. Now I am selective. I prefer to have fewer things of better quality that last longer and really serve me. And do you know what I discovered? I spend less in total, I have more, and I never feel lacking anything. A good blouse that lasts 5 years is much cheaper than 5 bad blouses that last 1 year each. Freeing yourself from comparison. You will encounter resistance when you start your minimalist transformation. Friends who do not understand why you do not want to receive more decorative objects. Family members who get offended when you donate the gifts they gave you. Acquaintances who think you are weird for not participating in compulsive group shopping. And worse, the silent pressure of social media. Those perfect houses, those closets organized by color, those magazine-worthy kitchens. Do you want to know a secret? Half of those houses are sets. The other half are beautiful prisons where people live afraid to touch anything. True status is not having a house full of expensive things to impress visitors. It is having a home that reflects exactly who you are, without excess, without ostentation, without trying to prove anything. It is the confidence of not needing to prove something through objects. It is knowing that your elegance comes from editing, from careful selection, from the ability to say no to excess. Be firm but gentle with those who do not understand. You do not need to evangelize anyone about minimalism, but you also do not need to justify yourself, your house, your rules, your life, your choices, and over time, when they see how much more peaceful, present, at peace you are, some will start asking questions. Because when you are really well, you do not need to convince anyone. Your life speaks for itself. The benefits that multiply. Minimalism is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process, and like compound interest, the benefits accumulate over time. At first, you gain physical space. Then you realize you are cleaning less. Then you notice you are more focused. Soon you are sleeping better. Eventually you realize you are less anxious, more present, more at peace. Individuals who practice simplicity and a more conscious life report higher levels of joy, calm, and overall satisfaction. It is not an empty promise. It is a consistent result reported by millions of people who made this transformation. And there is more. You start making better choices in other areas of life. Toxic relationships? You let go. Commitments that drain your energy? You decline. Habits that do not serve you? You abandon. Minimalism in the house overflows into minimalism in life. The fear of regret versus the weight of not acting. What if I regret discarding something? This is the fear that keeps many women trapped in excess for years, maybe decades. I will give you a reassuring statistic. In most studies on minimalism, less than 3% of people report significant regret about discarded items, and even these usually refer to objects with genuine sentimental or historical value, not common junk. But do you want to know what is even more revealing? 100% of people who kept the excess regret it. 100% wish they had started sooner. 100% look back and think about the wasted time, the unnecessary stress, the life they could have lived more fully. The regret of discarding is theoretical and rare. The regret of not discarding is real and constant. I would love to know what you really thought of this content. If you really liked it, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the notification bell so you do not miss the next videos coming. This way you are actively helping other people exactly like you to receive good and honest information like this one you just watched. And so, together, without rushing but without stopping, we are creating an entire generation of women who are not slaves to their own homes, but absolute owners of their own mental and emotional peace.